It's your boys, Cinema Heads, and if you notice, there's only 2 of us and not 3 of us, but who cares, because we're going to rock this video out loud. And right now, I am flanked by one of my favorite people,
Adrian.
And of course, if you don't know, my name is Matt. And today, we're going to be reviewing a Netflix original. Which is based off an anime, and if you haven't seen the anime, it's one of my favorite ones, and that is Bleach. Bleach is about a boy, a young boy named Ichigo Kurosuke.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what they say in the anime. So, Ichigo is about 16 years old, and he ends up gaining spiritual powers from Rukia, who is sent to Earth to defeat a Hollow. She ends up getting bitten in the arm. She can't end up defeating the Hollow. She gives him her powers. He becomes a
Soul Reaper.
Soul Reaper, thank you. I almost said Spirit Detective because I've been watching Yu Yu Hakusho also. Don't get him mixed up. So he's a Soul Reaper. He goes on. He has to be trained because Renji and her brother, Bayaka, come to planet Earth to take her back and kill the person who she gave her powers to. Now we're going to get into the live action version of it. So what I just explained to you is kind of the anime version. We're going to see if it compares. Now, the live-action one of it, Ichigo, is played by... You want to say that name for me, Adrian?
I think it's Soda Fukushi?
Soda Fukushi, and Rukia is played by...
Hana Sugisaka. So, look, we're really sorry that we're butchering the names. They're really hard to pronounce. And then Renji, I think it's played by Taichi Sodame.
That's actually a good one.
And then, how do you say his
Bayaka
is played by Miyaviya?
Yep, no last name. And the director is Shinsuke Sato. And we apologize if we butchered your name and you actually end up watching this video because...
Super sorry.
These names are really hard. Now, this video, or this movie, it starts out basically almost the same as the anime. Ichigo is
exactly the same.
It is because he can see souls and he can see spirits.
Right.
So he sees the spirit of this young boy, and these skater punks ended up knocking over his vase of flowers. Ichigo gets upset about it, beats them up, makes them apologize, which is hilarious because he humiliates these skaters.
Yeah.
Humiliates these guys, makes them apologize to this ghost. They can't see him. He can. So it goes on. He ends up going to his house. They're having dinner. Ichigo's mother had passed on. All you do is see him kind of seeing a young girl over by a pier. He goes and approaches her, wanting to give him the umbrella. And all of a sudden, you just see the mother go down. There's a bunch of screaming. You don't see exactly what happens or what's going on. And she never sees the young girl. You can clearly see the mom doesn't see it. Ichigo sees it. Jump forward 16 years. Here we are. He's seeing spirits again. And he sees Rukia in his house. Rukia is in his house because she is trying to find one of the hollows. And then she ends up coming across this guy who's standing next to him, and she has to send him to the spirit realm. Yeah. So she ends up sending him to the spirit realm. The hollow ends up grabbing Ichigo's sister. Because what this hollow does is it tries to eat people with a lot of spiritual pressure so it can gain more power. Right. So it ends up grabbing his sister. They both run out because Ichigo can, of course, see it. Rukia can, of course, see it because she's a Soul Reaper, and she starts fighting it. She should easily beat this, but she's so concerned with protecting Ichigo at this point that she takes a horrible bite to the arm, and she can't fight anymore. So then she ends up transferring her powers over to Ichigo, and he becomes a Soul Reaper, and he has to end up saving the day. After that, it kind of tumbles down the road of, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this for you? I understand that you might be the one that's going to be put on trial. You might be the one that's going to die, but that doesn't affect me. So we're going to touch kind of base on how it kind of matched up with the anime. How'd you feel matched up with the anime?
So I watched it first, and my initial thoughts were like, dang, I hadn't seen the anime in like a long time. Yeah. I watched the movie first, went back and watched the anime, and it tried really hard to follow the anime almost to a T.
Almost.
So I think in that aspect, it did like really well. Like I said, the very beginning where it shows him beating up the skaters because they messed up the young boy's little, what was it called? It was like a glass of flowers, with flowers where he had passed. That's exactly how the anime was. So like it really followed like almost to the T.
And when he kicked that kid and he flew against the wall, it was so funny. Yeah. All the fight scenes were extremely,
Oh, yeah, the fight scenes are
extremely
good.
pretty. Even when they're fighting the Hollows. I honestly thought, especially coming from Netflix, the Hollows were going to look cheesy. The fight scenes were going to look cheesy. And they looked really clean and really good. And a lot of the fights almost played out like it did in the end.
Yeah, it almost did. Like when Rukia gives Ichigo the powers, he gets him and he fights off the first Hollow. It's almost exactly like how it was in the anime. So they did like a really good job of, and like you said, the special effects were like way better than I thought they would be, for sure.
Yeah, they definitely were. Especially when she puts the glove on and she starts taking him out of his shell to make him the Soul Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
So as we go through the story, we see Renji, he comes down and he ends up fighting Ichigo. Mm-hmm. And then we have another character, he's a Quincy, and for right now I cannot remember his name. He's one of Aidishia, something like that. I can't think of his name. But he's a Quincy, he ends up saving Ichigo against Renji. Renji ends up retreating. What a Quincy is, it has the power, it has arrows, and it has like a soul power also. It can see dead people. And he wants to end up fighting Ichigo and defeating Ichigo. Now, his character is one of my favorite characters. And how they did that bow, how it came out, and he used the little charm, and all of it was done really pretty. All of it was done really well. So it kind of tumbles on down there. Ichigo starts getting a bigger heart for Rukia, maybe even catching feelings. You can't really understand it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. Or it's Ichigo wants to end up proving himself and prove that he's better than Renji. It doesn't. However you want to take that version of it, but they're there to take her back. They're there to take her back, and they're there to kill Ichigo. So they start working together, and Ichigo gets stronger, and he ends up fighting Renji again.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's training him so she can get the powers back.
Yeah, so she can get the powers back, because he's strong enough. Because right now, you're right, his soul is so weak that she's trying to train him to get it back before they come and they end up killing him. But Renji comes back, they end up fighting, and Renji uses Abimaru. Mm-hmm. And when he uses Abimaru, once again, it was pretty. It was done very nice.
It looked really good. The fight scene is like because they're fighting with swords, and you can kind of tell like the actors, like especially Ichigo, he's probably not like a martial artist outside of acting.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
but I felt like they masked that very well. So like it looked really nice when they were going through the motions, and it's very fast paced, but it looked really clean.
No. And it might be set up that way because he's not a martial artist.
Yeah.
He's a 16-year-old child. He knows how to fight. I mean, he has street smarts.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to wield a sword. He's not a great martial artist. Renji and Bayaka have been doing this, for centuries now. Right. And then Bayaka, of course, shows up, and that's my boy. He's one of my favorite characters. And his hair, everything, like Renji's hair, his
really
hair.
Good.
Yeah, it looked real good. Yeah. All of it matched. Bayaka shows up, takes him to school. Spoiler alert if you did want to watch it, if you haven't seen the anime. Ends up beating him. Rukia kind of turns on him, if you will. And she ends up going back with Buyaka and Renji, taking back her powers. Mm-hmm. Which does happen in the anime. He ends up forgetting a lot of stuff. Do you think that this could lead up to a sequel or another Bleach?
Oh, yeah. I think... I mean, if Death Note got a sequel, I would hope. I felt like this was better than that. Especially if you compare it to how they match up with the actual anime. This one did a really good job of matching it, or Death Note not so much, but Death Note's getting a sequel, so I would hope that this one's getting a sequel. Also, they kind of hint at it at the end.
It definitely should. They do hint at it at the end. Now, of course, I think that this is one of the best Netflix movies we've seen, so I'm going to go ahead and give my rating, and it's going to be out of Soul Reaper. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 9 out of 10 Soul Reapers. They're going to take that hollow down.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a solid 7 for a Netflix movie. It did a good job of... If you haven't seen the anime, you should definitely check it out. I think even if without watching the anime, just going in, just clear mind, it was pretty entertaining. I think people still like it.
Yeah, it was really good. So this is something that you should check out. There's a lot of good, not really any negatives. But now, this review's over. Yeah. It's all said and done, fellas. So... Of course, this has been Cinema Heads, the reviews you deserve and the comedy you need. Not in that movie, there's no comedy, just a lot of awesome fighting. If you like this video, why don't you go ahead and give us that joyous thumbs up and hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Also, if you want to see some behind the scenes stuff, some great things, some big things, some things that we are doing behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and of course that beautiful Twitter page. I don't think I did that one of my videos. I think I almost hit every single video. And of course, this video is boom done. Winter is coming, but you can stop this winter, and you can stop the White Walkers if you subscribe and click that notification button. For freedom!